Hello, everybody. Oh, let me just make sure. Alright, it's right this time. Don't need to be messing with it. Anyway, this is Yoko's Band of Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 12. While all this is going on, like I said before in the last episode, I wasn't sure if it was last episode or this episode, where we find out that Rocklock's got, a wife and a new baby, and it's in this episode. So he's essentially that's why he was so against the kids being there, because he's a new father and he doesn't want their futures ruined because of being a part of this mission, and possibly it going south and something happening to them, Like with the whole Togata and his quirk thing, that could ruin his chances for being a hero if he doesn't have his quirk. Sure, he could probably still fight like Batman. He doesn't have any superpowers, and he's a hero. But that's a whole different can of worms there. But still, Togata could still fight if he could just get strong enough physically where he could fight. But I don't know how well his career of a hero would go if he doesn't have a quirk anymore. But we'll come to that bridge when we get to it. Anyway, that's why he was so adamant against them not being there, because he didn't want anything to happen to those kids with their futures, ahead of them still. And yeah, once Deku and God, I'm so tired. My nephew's woke me up again at 6:30 this morning. Oh my god. But yeah, once Deku and Mr. Aizawa jump in, Mr. Aizawa immediately erases Overhaul's quirk, which makes him even more unstable at this point. Yeah. Not good. Not good. You don't want a mentally unstable or unhinged villain to fight. And the bad thing is that obviously his quirk, his ability over, stopping his quirk ends when he blinks, and he's trying very hard not to blink, obviously. And that guy in the white coat gets Mr. Aizawa with his hair? Was that his hair? But apparently, Overhaul had fixed him when Lemillion wasn't looking before they popped in. And Aizawa gets slowed down to like a snail's pace and is taken out of the fight by that guy. So now it's only Deku and Night-Eye having to deal with Overhaul at this point, because Lemillion's kind of out of the picture at this point, and Eri can't do anything because she can't use her quirk yet. Well, it's not that she can't use her quirk, she doesn't know how to activate it. And the bad thing is that when it does, she doesn't know how to turn it off. Then again, she is still a kid. She hasn't learned any of this stuff because no one has taught her anything. No one has tried to teach her how to use her quirk, how to turn it on, turn it off. She hasn't learned any of that stuff. Because obviously Overhaul's not going to teach her how to do that stuff, because that'd be setting himself up for disaster, because if he taught her how to turn it on and off, she could turn it on when he's trying to do something to her and essentially get rid of him, That's what she could do. That's why he hasn't taught her anything. It would be essentially suicide to teach her anything like that, because that would be essentially his death. So, yeah, she's out of the picture. She can't fight, and obviously. And Night-Eye is trying to take care of Lemillion and Eri while Deku is fighting Overhaul. And the bad thing is that Overhaul used his quirk to assimilate the guy with the confession quirk into himself somehow and make him a part of him. So, yeah, no. And now Overhaul's got like weird extra limbs, I guess. it's just creepy, and Dick is obviously trying to fight the guy, and he's having a slightly hard time of it, and Night Eye decides to go in and jump in. And they're trying to get Lemillion to take Eri out of there so that way she'd be safe. And Eri's, obviously traumatized by this whole thing, and she doesn't want to see anybody else get hurt because of, them trying to come in and rescue her. But the thing is that if she tries to stop it all now, it would have all been for nothing. They would have all gotten hurt, had to deal with all this for nothing, and then they would escape, and, it would just all been waste of time, essentially. Or rather, it would have been all for nothing. It would have been a waste of time because they would have been trying to save her, but still. Anyway, obviously Night Eye's using his quirk to predict Overhaul's movements, but the bad thing is that he's kind of... when they find out that Overhaul got rid of Lemillion's quirk, apparently forever, according to him, because like I said, we haven't seen him test any of them yet. But he only made the 5 bullets, and they didn't have any extras as far as we know, so they hadn't apparently tested it. So how do we know it is permanent? We'll find out. Anyway, Night Eye is trying to find a future where Lemillion and Deku escape with Eri, but the future he sees shocks him enough to where he ends up standing still for a second, which gives Overhaul a chance to get him with some spikes in his arm and in his stomach. So now Night Eye is skewered, essentially, and losing a lot of blood. And yeah, Night Eye was worried about this whole thing because obviously people could die in this whole thing. And yeah, Deku rushes over to help while having Lemillion take Eri out of there. And because of his emotions, his control over it kind of slips a bit when he was fighting Kachan before. And he gets him going up to, I don't know how much %, but anyway. He gets stronger and faster, but apparently his movements are predictable, just like Kachan said at the end of that same episode, because Deku had asked him what he thought of his shoot style, and Kachan said it was predictable. He could tell what Deku was going to do, essentially. And essentially that's why he was able to sort of hold his own. So Deku's going to have to change up his style a little bit if he's going to be able to have any chance of not being predictable. How? I don't know. Sorry for all the coughing. Anyway, Night Eye's trying to get Deku to stop and leave because he had seen a future where they are both killed and Overhaul escapes with Eri. So yeah, Deku's obviously not going to listen. He's going to do his best to prevent that future from happening. But Overhaul's trying to get Eri to come back to him by guilting her and saying that she's a cursed child. Which, no, she's not a cursed child. She just doesn't know how to use her quirk. If she knew how to use her quirk like everybody else did, then she wouldn't be cursed. Obviously, Eri is starting to listen to the guy and tries to get him if she comes back, that he has to fix everybody, obviously. And yeah, Deku's not having that. But we will see all that in the next episode. Anyway, I'll get this uploaded. If you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do so. And if you haven't joined the Discord, feel free to do so as well, because then you'll get notified whenever I upload. Because we've got a bot that'll, pop up every time I upload my videos. Unlike YouTube, which apparently they only send out 3 notifications at a time, max per day, I think. Even if you upload like 5 videos, so yeah. Anyway, I'll get all this done and I will see you all next time.